प्रभास, आपसे सवाल है कि जिस तरह का सिनेमा आप कर रहे थे, बहुत ही मेन स्ट्रीम सिनेमा था, और वो सब छोड़ के आपने एक फिल्म में पूरी जान लगा दी। स्क्रिप्ट इतनी कन्विक्शन के साथ राजमौली सर लेके आए थे, या आप करना चाहते थे राजमौली के साथ काम?
Yeah, I wanted to work with Rajamouli. I already did 10 years before film called Chhatrapati. And for 6 years before he told me about, like, I'm going to do a very big film with you. 4 years before, 3.5 years before, he said, we're doing this script called Bahubali. And I'm so excited. And he told me, like, it'll take a lot of time. And you know, this is once in a lifetime film. You can't get it again. And I'm lucky to be part of this film, and I want to do it. Thank you.
Karan, this question is for you. I am Prema. I'm coming from a news channel in Telugu, down south. And I'm proud to say that Rajamouli is our director. He's one of the brilliant directors of our times. He's made 10 films, and this is the 10th film. Yeah. All his 9 films are blockbuster hits. And you have been the finest director and producer of Bollywood. I just wanted to know one thing, very curious. You've been telling so many things about Rajamouli, but I'm curious to know what are those senses and sensibilities, those real emotions that really triggered you as the director. In a director's point of view, what is it that you really admire in Rajamouli?
You know, more than anything else, it's, how do I put it? Whenever I've seen his films, there is a certain kind of like, beyond the scale and the drama that is generated, that he has in his, inherently in his writing, I think he balances technology with emotion in a way and makes it so exceptionally audience-friendly in a way I haven't seen any filmmaker do. You know, each filmmaker has a certain strength. When you look at Imtiaz Ali, there's always kind of some, there's great conversational writing. Zoya Akhtar, who gets into the depths of relationships. Raju Hirani, who taps into a socialist issue and gives it a certain kind of cinematic vision. Each filmmaker has a specific strength. Very few filmmakers integrate emotion with updated technology and yet makes it so largely for an audience without apologizing about it in any way. And integrating the three of these elements together, I think only Rajamouli has had that vision to do. So whether it's been in Magadhira or it's been in Iga or now in Bahubali, and I haven't seen Student Number 1, but I'm sure it's exceptional as well. But I think there's the integration of emotion, of an audience and of updated technology. And I believe that sometimes you can just make a great technically solid film, but it could lack soul. Or you could make a super solid, soulful film, but it may not have the cinematic vision. He combines these forces, and that's why he's a force to reckon with.
करण सर, हिंदी सिनेमा का दौर आज बदल चुका है, रियलिस्टिक सिनेमा का ज़माना आ गया. आप एज अ प्रोड्यूसर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से कौन-कौन से पैरामीटर्स पे फिल्म को देखते हैं कि क्यों मैं इसे प्रोड्यूस करूं?
देखिए भाई, मैं कभी कैटेगराइज तो करता नहीं, क्या पैरेलल है, क्या कमर्शियल है, क्या रियल है, क्या अनरियल है. मैं हिंदी फिल्म का बच्चा हूँ. जब से मैं जानता हूँ, जब से मुझे याद है, मैं हिंदी फिल्मों से बिल्कुल मैं पागल होता था. मैं पिक्चरों को 5 या 10 बार देखता था. तो मैं पूरी तरह मैं ऑडियंस हूँ. मैं रोता हूँ, मैं हंसता हूँ, मैं नाचता हूँ, मैं गाता हूँ जब मैं पिक्चर देखता हूँ. तो मुझे अगर ये सारे एलिमेंट्स मिल जाते पिक्चर में, और मैं आई वॉक आउट फीलिंग कि एक इमोशन है मेरे दिल में. जब रिसेंटली मैंने पीकू देखी, तो मुझे अपने बाप की याद आई. टच मी पर्सनली. जब मैंने तन्नू एज मनु देखी, तो मैं हंस के पागल हो गया. तो मैं सिनेमा के बाहर जब आता हूँ, तो एक इमोशन के साथ मुझे एग्जिट करना होता है. तब मुझे पता चल जाता है कि मुझे ये पिक्चर अच्छी लगी या नहीं. एंड आई फील इट्स ऑल अबाउट दैट. यू हैव टू. तो मैं कोई कैटेगरीज से मैं जाता नहीं. मुझे अगर मैं स्क्रिप्ट पढ़ता हूँ और मुझे छू ले या मुझे एंटरटेन करे, तो मैं वो पिक्चर बना लेता हूँ. सो आई रिएक्ट I don't react as a filmmaker. I react as a cinegoer when I look at a film. I'm an audience. I'm a paying audience, and that I want to be satisfied. When I'm not, I'm disappointed. When I am, I'm ecstatic. It's as simple as that.
Is the film inspired by Mahabharata?
Is it inspired by Mahabharata?
For me,
Yeah,
the question
or
is
are
for
they-
me.
Yes.
Yes.
Pardon?
Is the film inspired by Mahabharata, or are there any references to it?
Yes, a lot of it has been inspired by Mahabharata. Not just this film, all my films have been inspired by Mahabharata and Ramayana, because those are the two epics that have been fed into me right from my childhood. So it is not like, okay, let's take one character of Mahabharata and let's put it there. It's not that kind of inspiration, but the emotional connect is, yes, from those epics.
And the film says Bahubali the beginning. So do we expect to see more films in this series?
Yes, it is a 2-part film. this is the first part that we are coming with, Bahubali the beginning. The second part will come 1 year later.
राणा, मेरा सवाल आपसे है कि जब बाहुबली शब्द आता है तो उस वक्त दो बहुत ही धुरंधर लोग सामने आते हैं, तो आपके सामने ऑलरेडी प्रभास थे, तो किस तरीके की तैयारियां आपने खुद के भीतर की, क्योंकि पोस्टर में हम देख सकते हैं कि एक तरफ वो खड़े हैं एक तरफ आप खड़े हैं, तो बॉडी शॉडी किस तरीके से आपने प्लान किया पूरा?
I think that's the firstly good evening. I think that's the reason Rajamouli called and picked me for this film. And what you see right now is actually a shrunken down version of me. I was 25 kilos heavier than this. And yes, and that prep went on for about 6 or 8 months, even before we started the film. And yeah, so it was rigorous training, lots of martial arts and all of that. And a special credit to a man called Peter Haynes, who did the action of the film. He got a bunch of Vietnamese trainers for both of us, who were living with us for 3 months, didn't speak our language, but just used to whack us and get us up and running.
Karan, and see, when I entered the complex, I saw these posters there, and I immediately exclaimed that this world-class poster. It looks really world-class.
Thank you.
So suddenly I realized that, but here we are not even talking about world-class benchmarks. We are still talking about an Indian film, the most expensive Indian film. So is it possible that, when we are dealing with a subject like this, which has such a big canvas, where we start comparing ourselves, or we start thinking in terms of the world-class benchmarks in terms of filmmaking, this kind of filmmaking. I've seen films being made in Thailand that have such grand quality, and they have these kind of visuals, very impressive war scenes, and and great special effects and all. So when you were making this film, and when all of you were working on this project, did you have this kind of a benchmark that this film is going to be one of the best films of this kind, historical or whatever, in the world, and will make an impact on the world cinema?
When I start making a film, actually I don't think about what is the end result going to be. What drives me to make a film are the emotions in that film. So I try to write the scenes in such a way that connect to me. I actually don't think about how they are connecting to the audience or the world audience or the Telugu audience, or I don't think in those terms. So my filmmaking starts from my emotional connect. How do I make these emotions connect to the audience well? Whether let it be the biggest sets or biggest battle sequences, all these things come from the characters. I have a character called Bhallal Deva, who is this larger than life, who has an ego, such an ego that he makes a gold statue of 100 foot high. So such a character, what kind of palace would he live in? That will give me a palace which is 800, which is as tall as an Eiffel Tower. What kind of army will he command? What kind of crown will he wear? This character drives me his surroundings. So I make the film in that way. I don't think about what are the world films that are being made, how can we match those standards. No, I don't think in that way. That is one thing. Second thing, I think we think too much of ourselves. We always say we make Hollywood level movies and all that, but I personally feel they are much more ahead of us technically. They are much more ahead of us, and I don't like to be in a rat race in competing with them. They have a head start of 50 to 60 years. They have a much more better directors, visionaries, and all that. But only way that we can match with them is with our emotions. I think only emotions-wise, or like we are talking about Mahabharata and Ramayana, the epics we have, these are the only things that we are much, much better than them. But in all other departments, I think they are far ahead of us.
Karan, I would like Karan also to respond to that my question. I mean, what is your opinion? I mean, I remember, in Ficky Frames, there was a subject that, are we going to be making, world, I mean, $100 million film, $500 million kind of, box office and all, whether we can really, compete with the rest of the world. Now, you have been seeing all kind of films, and you also understand cinema and its business, in terms of, what is the situation of the world. Whether it's Hollywood or Chinese film industry or Indian film industry. You're also part of Ficky Frames, you have been part of the committee and all. So from that perspective, I mean, suppose, a film like Bahubali is there. Do you think, I mean, we can have, this is our subject, and inspired by, as he said, that inspired by, great stories, epic stories like Mahabharata and Ramayana. Do you think, that we can take all this across and win over the world? I mean, is that possibility exist? And do you visualize yourself doing it?
I have to say that apart from, I think, our cinematic vision and our content, we face a lot of infrastructure obstacles that China does not face. So, for example, the growth of China has been phenomenal in the exhibition circuit recently. Just their statistics are just on another level altogether. They're almost competing with Hollywood, where it comes to footfalls and it comes to infrastructure. Someone like Anil, I'm sure, will be able to tell you better that we have actually big infrastructure issues when it comes to exhibition. We are still combating number of screens in this country. That's because we have political bureaucracy issues. We have red tape that we are combating. We are one country that are combating many more external forces. Internally, we are prepared. We are ready. We have the infrastructure now. We have some filmmakers who have the vision. We have the technical departments that can enhance that vision. But we don't know have showcasing. We have combating release after release. We have like any multiplex owners will tell you the kind of issues we have with number of screens. So on one level, I think we're prepared. Like, to answer your question, yes, we're prepared. We're not here to take on, because as Sir just said, that they have a head start. They are way superior to us technically, because they have had a head start and they have actually been able to platform that head start and put it out there on celluloid. We're nascent in that department, but let me tell you, we are fast learners and we are we can catch up really fast, and we have the ability, we have so many stories to tell that can integrate Indian mythology with computer graphic cinema. But we have not been able to showcase them. We are still combating sound issues. We're still combating space issues. We're combating a lot of issues that require the information and broadcasting ministry to intervene and enhance us as an industry. We are very crippled. We are either fighting censors, or we are fighting screens. We are fighting political issues. Nobody else is fighting those issues that we are fighting on a daily basis. Every day we are fighting FIRs and all this. I mean, every day, if somebody just left Indian cinema alone, we would prosper, but no one leaves us alone. Unfortunately, we are soft targets to everything. A problem anywhere in the world is blamed on us. Everything is something that we are so conscious of. Every little, I keep fearing with every release, now who's going to put a court case on me for something random and ridiculous. So as I said, we are facing a lot of issues that kind of stunt us, stop our growth.